What is up, guys? John with Gaming Through the Decades, and we are back with another video. Firstly, do you even retro, bro? Secondly, let me just go ahead and start off by saying, if you are a Nintendo fanboy of any sort, probably going to get a little triggered by this video. Thirdly, let me say that I love Nintendo, okay? I grew up with a Nintendo. Nintendo was the first major console I ever had. So, it holds a special place in my heart. It still is one of the consoles that I play very much to this day even. So, I want to talk about a few things, and the first thing I'm going to talk about as it comes to Nintendo is over the last few months, we've learned, I think, a lot about Nintendo. That maybe we have speculated in the past. A lot of it was just opinions, but I think they verified a lot of opinions over the last couple months. And specifically with the Nintendo Mini that came out, and there was so much going on, and recently, I guess, come to find out that there was only about 196,000, I guess, units shipped through, I believe it was November. It was the first set. It was about 196,000 units, so less than 200,000 units. You heard the big thing. Oh man, Nintendo, you know, they always do this. We could expect them to do this. Well, you know, in my opinion, that doesn't mean it's right. That doesn't make it a good thing. That tells me three things, essentially, with Nintendo. The first thing is they just couldn't supply enough units. They couldn't physically meet a very small, well, it wasn't a small supply, but the supply that they put out was very small. So that tells me a lot. You know, that's not good for Nintendo. If they can only supply less than 250,000 units, that's bad news. So whatever happened to that whole, oh, Nintendo has so much money, Nintendo has money to last them 30 years. Well, if that's the case, they should be able to make more than 250,000 units and ship them throughout the world. So that's the first thing. Second thing, they literally just don't care. Which really doesn't make sense to me. And the thirdly is they're just completely out of touch, and that goes back to the whole thing of, you know, people making a lot of speculations or opinions about Nintendo. So are they just completely out of touch? I mean, when this NES Mini was launched, you know, it was a social media explosion with this thing. I mean, people talking about it that don't play retro video games, that maybe haven't played a Nintendo game in 20 years, or I need to get the NES Mini, I need to get the NES Mini. So, you know, what's going on, Nintendo? You have a clear demand for it, and you're only shipping 250 units. You know, and that goes back to the whole thing, well, they just don't care. Well, clearly, you know, they don't care, which tells me if they don't care, then what they do care about is the investors. They don't care about fans. Nintendo does not care about gamers. Nintendo has the mentality of a toy company, not the mentality of a console company. They wanted to show their investors that, hey, look, we sent 200,000 units and we sold every single unit, not caring about who got those units and, you know, if the people that actually wanted the units were getting them. So they weren't supplying their customer base. They weren't performing good customer service to their, you know, loyal fans, which is really just unfortunate, and it's sad. You know, so that's the NES. You know, that's my opinion on the whole NES Mini. Are they going to make more? Probably, maybe. I don't know. Why would they at this point? If they're not going to make enough for the holiday season, why should they make some now when the demand's going to be lower? I mean, look on Facebook, look on OfferUp. They're not even on there right now. People aren't even really selling them. So is demand even there at this point? My personal opinion is Nintendo's not getting my money on principle alone because, you know, sure, I would have bought one if I was, you know, at a Walmart somewhere, maybe picking up some bread and some cereal and some milk, and oh look, hey, an NES Mini, they're on the shelf, you know. And how many sales did they miss because of those specific opportunities? So I mean, it's really just kind of crazy. I think they really missed the boat, and again, just shows me they're out of touch. So, you know, that is my opinion on the NES Mini. Now, moving on to the Nintendo Switch. You know, I've got a lot of opinions out there on the Switch. I'm reluctantly holding my breath and, hopeful that it's a success, and hopefully it has the third-party support. But, guys, my personal opinion on the Switch is this is Nintendo essentially exiting the console market without officially exiting the home console market. The more and more I look at this thing and the Integra chip that I guess it supposedly uses, this thing is more of a handheld. I think this thing is more so going to replace the 3DS, and this is going to be a handheld device, and Nintendo, from the rumors, are going to be selling the docking station for relatively cheap so you can put them all over the house. So what does that tell me? It tells me it's a handheld that, hey, you can throw into your TV. You can hook up to your TV. And let's not forget about Reggie's little Freudian slip on I believe it was the Tonight Show, guys, where he even comes out and says, I don't know if it was inadvertently or on purpose, but he confirmed that the Nintendo Switch, its power is in the tablet. He said everything is everything is coming from the tablet. That's where all the power is. That's where everything comes from. I would put the little clip on here, but my new format, guys, you know how I feel about that editing. And bro, do you even edit? Not today. So guys, yeah, that's my opinion on the Switch. I don't know. I'm going to hold my breath. Honestly, guys, come January 12th, you know what we're going to hear about? We're going to hear, we're going to get launch titles, and we're going to get pricing. That's it. Everyone wants to talk about specs. Guys, Nintendo does not talk about specs when it comes to their console. I don't think they've talked about specs since maybe the Nintendo 64. So guys, that is my opinion on the current state of Nintendo. I don't know what I'm going to title this video yet. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there, guys. Let me know what you think of the NES Mini situation. Let me know what you think of the Nintendo Switch situation. And as far as the Nintendo Mini goes, if they do still supply them at this point, are you still willing to, buy them? Are you going to go out and buy one for $60 still? For me, guys, personally, I'm just not going to give Nintendo money on principle. They have the mentality of, let's take advantage of our customers to, benefit our books, to make our books look good at the expense of our fans. So, guys, I don't really dig that. Anyways, let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed this video. And do you even retro, bro?